we will have a line of cars all the way, in the past we've had them all the way to TV Highway going northbound, trying to get to this spot right here to drop off ballots.
With the signature verification, is that something that you guys do sort of on a spot check basis, or is it every ballot? Somebody has to...
Everyone has to be checked for signature. That's an integral part of the process. Here are some signature verification stations. These over in that corner are as well. There's an observer sitting in the middle of that corner. You can circle back that way.
Sure. So this is the second step of the process.
This one.
Right now we have 195,283 ballots already entered into that doorway over there. So that's
72%.
That's that's about 71%. That's a huge number. I mean, if those were all people in one city, that would be the second biggest city in the state of Oregon, next to Portland. If every one of those ballots were a person, and they're represented by each individual voter. So that's the magnitude of the operation. It's been going on for 18 days. This is the last day.
Can people choose to come here and vote on one of these?
Yeah, they can. Yeah, these stations have been set up throughout the vote by mail period. So if people wanted to, they can bring their ballot here and do it this way.
You're feeling good about it. I feel really good about it. We actually have open spaces out here.
The county has to make sure that at each one of these boards, both political parties, major political parties, are represented.
Correct. You have to have one. You have to have at least two parties on every table.
Is that person selected by the precinct committee person, or is it
No, that's a whole different. The precinct committee people, they're elected in May, really don't have anything to do with the elections process itself. They go to the conventions, I think. If they're elected, they have different party rules for that. No, these folks, for the most, some of them used to work at the polling sites when we had polling sites, and they really enjoyed this process, so they keep coming back. And then there are new people hired in each election they express an interest in working here, or relatives or friends. They're temporary employees.
And they circled another, but the machine is set up to catch overvotes. And
have you ever, in the past or this time, noticed that someone's observing and they see something they think is wrong? Do they stand up?
They can talk to me because that's my job. I'm an observer monitor, and there are three of us in the office. And so if they have a question, they see something at the table they don't understand, they'll ask us. And if we don't understand it, we'll go ask the table. But they cannot interact with any of the people who are working here, and they're not allowed to interfere with the work process at all. So they're in this little area where they can stay, but they can't go beyond it.
Okay, so what are the things they can't observe?
What are the things they...
Are there any aspects that they cannot observe?
Not really, no, because they can watch the signature checking and the scanning and the counting. They've been all over the office. But at all times they have to have somebody with them. They can't roam freely because there are a lot of ballots. So, yeah, they can watch all of it. It's a transparent process.
Can you think of an example of a time where an observer actually saw something that was wrong and then that problem was corrected because they spoke up?
It's possible. I'm trying to think. Well, somebody the other day, one of the tables dropped a ballot and didn't see it. So they'll point to me and say, and I'll go get it. But, nothing.
And then they're like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I found it. Oh, one for democracy. In Oregon, we have a paper trail, so we can always do a recount against the machine count. And if you have the paper, you have your ballot here, and you have the machine count here, and they're exactly the same. We've done a number of statewide recounts, and nothing has ever changed in Oregon.
Well, that is the case in Oregon, but there are some states where it's not the case.
That's true. That is true. I can't argue that. But
the people that have examined some of the systems in other states are pure scientists that are at respected universities.
I know. But they have never done elections before, and I don't believe in conspiracy theories. You'd have to have so many people involved. Not to say there aren't dishonest people out there who might try to hack, but for instance, our count system is a completely standalone system. There's no way to get into the system. It only sends information out after 8, but there's no way to get into it.
So here are those secure ballot boxes that we're talking about, coming in from all the drop sites.
So the company that built the machines, are they involved at all after the fact?
We have to get technical support here, where if the machine is, sometimes the tension is too tight or it's jamming up too much, then the technical person will come out and make adjustments to it. But what you're talking about is software programming, I'm assuming, because I've heard that one before too, that for some reason the manufacturer might have an interest in how the election comes out, so they put a secret chip in there or something. But there are just too many checks and balances for that to happen, because these machines are tested so thoroughly ahead of time, before and after. We're testing it after the election. There isn't any way that something like that could get through on this equipment, because we know it.
After the ballots come in through the loading dock, and there are obvious, ballots that weren't meant to come to Washington County because they were for Yamhill County or for Clackamas County, that sorting goes on, and that leaves you with Washington County ballots in envelopes. And so one of the very first steps after that is wanding in, we call it. So a barcode that's inked, a unique barcode inked on the back of each ballot, the envelope that the ballot goes in, the same envelope that has the voter's name on it, the same envelope that the voter signs has that barcode. And so that's what they're doing here. They're using the one to record into the database that ballot has indeed made it into the elections office. And that's one of the first steps.
There's a process that the Secretary of State could require a hand count?
Yes, that's a new law.
Okay.
I'd have to pull out the statute.
They haven't, I don't think they've, it's still in draft form, but that's going to happen after the 21st day, it's 30 days after the election.
Yes.
And they'll pick
They're going to
random
pick
precincts.
something at random to precincts. They'd have to pull out the statute, but it's clearly laid out in the Oregon revised statute that governs elections. And it's a percentage, and I'd have to pull it out to look at the exact number, but it's like 1%, 5%, or another percent. They'll tell us at random which precincts that we have to draw. And then we have to do a hand count on those precincts. That's something new this year.
If one wanted to verify what one's own vote was counted as, if you had a state where there was more contention and more room for malfeasance, then the only way to really know what your vote was would be to do away with the whole idea of a private ballot. It would be, you'd have to be able to check on, say, online somewhere, your ballot or your neighbor's ballot to see that, what tallies you intended to be submitted. You'd have to be able to verify that with your name, and it'd have to be in a fairly public way to be effective in a truly 100% transparent system. That would be sacrificing the secrecy of the ballot.
Because what we have now is they can call in to see if we received their ballot. So, but that's just, we just know that we received your ballot, but we don't know how they voted.
Yes.
Right, by design.
Yeah, by design. We don't know how they voted.
Just be at the beginning of the process, though, right? You can say we received your ballot.
Yeah, she saw it right there. Then once it was wanded in, now we received your envelope. Now, did you put your ballot inside that? I don't know at that time until we open it.
This year, the ballot is 17 inches long, and so each crease has to be flattened out, and each of the workers here are carefully inserting the ballots into the counting machines. But you can see how, with a very lengthy piece of paper, drawing ballot, it has a certain effect on how fast the ballots can be counted. Same time, because of early voting, having ballots turned in early during the voting period which is 18 days long this time, really helps prepare the ballots for today, when ballots could actually be counted. And it speeds the process along so that more ballots can be more smoothly put into the counting process earlier in the day. And that's why we try to make drop-off sites available throughout the county, at libraries and other places.
What's the process like that uploads the templates up to the machines that then the ballots are counted against?
Nobody really has total access like that. We each have a piece of the information that they need. Each person has a specific function, and we each need each other to be able to complete the whole process. So there's nothing specific that one person can do. So, I do the accounting, Tracy does the machines, I do the Unity program, and everybody has a certain part in the process.
How often do media officials ask you as stupid and in-depth a questions as we ask?
Well, I would say your questions have been very intelligent, but no, there was a similar set of questions everyone has, basically. There are different levels of depth of understanding about the process, so people aren't always aware of the different steps, for example, or haven't even visited the elections office before. But I think there's a great deal of questions about, is my vote being counted? Is it, does the process have integrity? And I think we do have a very good process full of integrity in Oregon. And, the more I think people learn about it and come to their elections office like you did today, I think it helps with that understanding.